Hello guys, if you're new to my channel, I'm gonna leave the link on my body types playlist down below. So the subject of today's video is it necessary to know your body type to dress up great? And little spoiler, no, but that's just my viewpoint. I will only talk about my viewpoint, my experience. I've been doing this for the last 5 or 6 years, almost every day. And I've observed so many pictures of stars, but we can't ignore the fact that everyone, even the professional stylists, they still have some kind of a taste and an aesthetic that they tend to gravitate to. And as far as I'm trying to be as objective as I can and also learning the history of fashion and history of arts is really helping me to see all the aesthetics that exist there and talk about all of them preferably. I'm trying to, but I still probably have my own taste, and what I'm going to talk about today will be based on many modern pictures that I've observed recently, also on Pinterest, and kind of latest trends, what people do find pretty pleasing to the eye. Not everything depends on the body type. For example, grooming. If the woman is groomed, it will always, I think, will be better than if the woman is not groomed and she's dressed accordingly to her type, right? You know what I mean? It's just the scale of importance. It's like one of the stages of our way to our best selves, right? To finding your own aesthetic. So knowing your body type, I think it's just one of the steps. Is it necessary? No. I think there is another road probably on how you can express yourself. In my body type series, I have this video number 1 that is called How to Be Beautiful, and I just decided to kind of do several pre-steps to the whole body type series that goes after that. So in those pre-steps, I'm talking about grooming, I'm talking about first thing, just take a shower, of course, it's clean body. And next thing on that gradient, on that scale of importance would be haircut, hair color, like healthy hair, healthy looking hair and hair color, and preferably also not super old-fashioned, so that would look like that. Brows is the next very important thing. You can't hide them. You can go without makeup, but you can't go without brows, right? So if your brows are groomed and shaped, that's another step to a better look, right? So next thing would be skin. If there's some problems, just take care of the body, of the health of the body, and meanwhile you might use some help like foundations, concealers, something to cover that spot to make your skin look beautiful and healthier. That is another step to more beautifying ourselves. Now we've done all that, what's next? It also depends on what you are doing in life. Of course, one thing is professional stylists. They do that morning till night, they earn money with that, so they can spend their time for learning the fashion, actually learning it and looking at it every day. Train their eyes, train their vision. So that's a job thing. So people who are stylists, that's their job. And you don't have to spend your lifetime to become a professional stylist in order to dress up well. So this is, I think, when body types are a great thing. Also, there are probably bodies that are a little bit more balanced and moderate, so whatever clothes they buy, if they buy super trendy, something super trendy and pretty good quality, if they're trying to look at the influencers, probably they look very similar one to each other, but we all get inspired by what is existing already, right? So that's a great thing, I think. I myself get inspired by one thing yesterday, so I just put it on myself today. We don't have a goal to invent something super new. We just have a goal to get our signature style, but I just have my own story. And I was one of those who, even watching all those videos about how to create a great style, how to look more expensive, how to look more chic, how to get the effortlessness in your look, still most of that stuff didn't work on me, or I felt like I looked stupid. I felt like nobody is talking about those rules, and I need those rules. Like, who can give me those rules? So this is what really caught my eye in this particular theory about 13 body types, 13 types, like 5 main types, yeah? Because I realized there are like several systems of how you describe your body type. Some people say like it's an hourglass, rectangular, pear shape and stuff, which is very helpful sometimes, just balancing the proportions. Nice. It really works actually, and many women find this very helpful. But sometimes It is not helpful. And this is when women don't understand why. And many people just don't have enough time to get that vision for themselves. Also, I'm not about trends, but I keep an eye on trends, I would say that. When I mean trends, I mean not to look costume-ish, too old-fashioned. That's the use of trends for me personally. I've been influenced by trends actually lately, but it's another story. It's for my selfish series. So I'm gonna make another video about this, but it's not the point. My little story though, in 2000s I was a teenager, and that was the time when in a shop you could only buy jeans or pants with very low waist, short cropped tops, platform shoes, and very, very chunky and bulky shoes, black ones. And also that haircut, which was extremely layered with super thin ends, probably a la Britney Spears or something like this. So that was super, super trendy. But I didn't have a vision. So I mostly was in my music, like I'm an ear person, I never was looking enough. I loved Marilyn Monroe, I loved some kind of certain aesthetics around me, but this is it. And I looked so bulky in those 2000s trends. I looked so like a little square. My height is 1 meter 60 centimeters. I looked so bulky in those jeans. It made my legs even shorter and all that, very slouchy. And also the pants, they were wide pants with lower waist, and also they had to be very long. I remember the rule, and everybody told me that rule. It should stop exactly in the middle of the heel of shoes that you're gonna wear. I would ask somebody to trim them for me. So this is how we would measure the length of the pants. If it was a bit shorter than the middle of the heel, even if it's like a flat shoes, it had to be almost on the ground. So a little bit shorter pants, that already looked so silly, so stupid. That could be like a stupid person look. So it was huge no-no. Like what really changed the situation for me and gave me real hope was 2010s when hipsters started appearing. That was a vintage fresh air. So the best thing about that was ankle length of the pants. It immediately removed all my bulkiness of all the looks, like whatever I wore, that really, really resolved this problem. Also higher waist, that made my torso a little bit shorter and my legs a little bit longer. And it was skinny, so that made me not as, again, slouchy and bulky. And that changed a lot. Just this element, this pants or jeans, it really changed all the tops that I had. So all those tops started playing a different role in my outfits. They started looking absolutely differently. So that point really gave me hope. I loved Marilyn Monroe since childhood, but I always looked like a teenager in all of the stuff that she would wear. And also I was trying chiseled looks, and I looked too puffy and silly in those ones. So I felt like I never fit. And there are still women that feel that they don't fit. But the reality is not that they don't fit, but it's more like they don't fit to that experience in fashion that they personally have. Not enough vision, probably, not enough information, but on the other hand, they don't have to. As I said, everybody has their own life. So yeah, women with unusual proportions, women who are petite, women who are very tall, women who are not tall but maybe wider, women who have some curves, and women who have different combinations of their proportions that are drawing a certain picture. Many of these women, they just feel like they don't fit. One advice works for them, another doesn't. Who is more lucky? The ones who had an access to loads of clothes, so they actually could observe themselves in the mirror, or even better if they would make pictures of their outfits all the time and just figure that out, like playing with fashion and with different silhouettes so much so they would have their own rules for what they look good in, what they don't, you know? So that also happens, which really is great. Not everybody has that opportunity. Many just don't want to buy everything in the shop. They need some time to get used to a thing, to wear that for some time, to walk it out, just to see how they feel in it and how it looks on the pictures when somebody's making pictures of them from the distance. You know, many things matter. Another problem, not all of the stuff that we see now in the shops looks good. And I don't know if it's just not trendy, or if it's not pleasing to the eye, or it's not pleasing to my personal eye. I'm not sure, but it's funny because I've been in Macy's. I was passing by the clothes and there were loads of stuff like that. And I can't even imagine any woman actually looking great in that. Any type, any occasion. It's hard for me to imagine. Need just to spend some time to think about how to style it, but it's not that. And as far as those things, they have certain characteristics, they have patterns, they have certain colors, they have certain fabric, and they have certain outline. So even if you wear that thing and follow all the recommendations for your body type, my personal experience, it won't look great, even if it is perfectly on that recommendation. So I think besides knowing Kibi system or body type, your body type and how to dress for your body type, besides knowing that, I think it's very important to know more stuff. Watch some anti-trends, dress up don'ts in 2020, or just feel that aesthetic, or just learn more about what exists. So that's another reason why I'm doing this channel. I try to combine modern things, trendy things with vintage, with timeless, and with proportion and bone structure and the image identity aesthetic of each woman. So I think women who just don't have that enough knowledge, it's very useful just to see what exists, you know, and to see, even observe other types is very useful, because by knowing what doesn't look good on you, I think it's even better. Or by knowing for sure that you're not this type for sure. Already knowing that can create less confusion and clearer space for you. Even if you confuse still, if you don't know and you're still searching, that's fine. That's totally normal. We can't be very objective about themselves from the beginning. Some of us do, you know, like it just depends. Because observation and the time you spend on observation is very important. Not everybody has that vision. And I know that some women, they just have the vision. Some women have the vision just for everyone. Just very talented, maybe just observed from the childhood. Maybe they had real interest. Probably you have a couple of friends like that. So they look at things and they say, if we would place this here and then we would add this, that would look like that. And you look at that and you're like, yeah, she's right. So they already kind of have a vision, sometimes like from their childhood. Or they trained their eyes because they were super interested in that. I wasn't. I started late, but I really wanted. And it was all about myself. I never even were thinking about sharing this on my YouTube, because this is what I was doing on my YouTube on those early years of my videos, remember? Some of you who are with me for all these years, you know, right? So I started with just makeup, hair, and all those things. I have contouring series, I have loads of stuff on my channel. And by the time I started that body type series, I already had my huge eyes videos that was very popular. It was already, I think, over 10 million views at that time. And I couldn't wait to share it with you, but I didn't know how to present this information. I thought, what if Kibi would be mad at me if I present this information? But then I thought, I'm just gonna share what I know, because that helped me so much. That opened my eyes on so many things, even though I couldn't figure out myself like for a year or two, but approximately I knew which direction I should look. And then I started just experimenting. I started experimenting with the recommendations that he gave for this or that type, and he was explaining why this and why that. And then I started figuring that out. And then when things just got together for me. And you know, not everybody who has a vision of different aesthetics is always applying them to themselves or to the bodies. Because, for example, I know some interior designers on YouTube, and I love their taste in interior. They really make great spaces, and I love that. But they look very strange. Some of them have very strange hair color, very strange makeup. So loads of makeup don'ts, eyeliner that goes really down, creates that unnecessary droopiness of the eyes. And so I was thinking, like there are sometimes some people who have a vision for that, but they might not have a vision for that. But some of them, they are looking great. It's just, I observed just several ones. Or sometimes people can have a great vision about others, but not as much on themselves, which is also, I think, great and normal. I just think it's because how much time you're observing your own body and how many times you actually had a chance to see your own body from an exterior viewpoint. Because we're always looking from this body, from the inside, you know, outside. You can actually watch this video, 12 types of stylists, I think it's called. I'm gonna leave the link down below, so you might find it interesting. I'm describing different kinds of stylists that exist now in the world. So when I look at influencers, like fashion influencers, I can see that they dress a certain way, and they know their proportions because they play with their own body all the time. They make photographs with their own body all the time. They have good lighting, they have good makeup and stuff, so they have a chance to play with their outfits a lot, especially some influencers who get a lot of free clothes, so they actually have a chance to try this on, play with outfits and stuff. So they really have this number of rules for themselves already. So they share those rules normally it's their personal rules. And then in case it matches to somebody else. Not always. It matches, but not always. And what's good about them, they have some kind of knowledge what exists, what doesn't exist. And we kind of have this unspoken agreement about what looks great, what doesn't look great. Then why Kibi? Why can't we just go for those regular body types systems like hourglass and rectangular and asparagus or whatever? My viewpoint is that if we go for Kibi, if Kibi can resolve maybe 50% of your struggle, if you really know what we're talking about here, and those regular body type techniques resolve 10% at max, they are based on correcting. Kibi system is based on emphasizing what you already have, not correcting anything, and really finding your essence and marry your essence and the body together so they would both sing same song. Also, regular types, yeah, it's proportionally correcting you, but it doesn't say anything about fabrics, patterns, what they do, what colors do, which color contrast you have to choose in this or that situation. What is the vertical line? What vertical line is doing to your body. Pear shape can be so different. They can be pear shape that looks a little bit more straightish still, or it can be small pear shape, or it can be tall pear shape, or it can be pear shape with musculature, or it can be pear shape but being very soft. All those women require a little bit different outlook, you know? So that is what Kibi is about. And this is what these body types systems are not about. So summary. Just to look at it as it is, most of those people that you are inspired by in your fashion game, they don't know anything about Kibi. They don't know nothing about Kibi. And somehow they manage to dress up very much on point. They don't need to know this because they already know. Just experience. Trying this, trying that, and then after loads of things that you observed, you just know what suits you. Some people just have this intuition, I think, by nature. They just know that it's going to fit them. And the other side of that is also true. Many of those who know Kibi recommendations, every recommendation, they might also look not their best and they don't understand what's wrong. Because maybe sometimes they buy this kind of things, maybe they misduplicate something, maybe there are some words that they didn't quite understand, they're not groomed enough. And also it's very interesting actually because Kibi himself, if you've seen him on Facebook, the way he's dressing women, he's doing makeovers for women. And I'm looking at that and I was like, that's very interesting. I would take this girl and I would dress her up, also using Kibi recommendations, but totally different, which is very interesting. This is why I'm bringing a lot of history of fashion and art into my channel. And I want to bring actually more of that because I want us to be able to differentiate even more things. That will give us a little bit more freedom and knowledge about things. And funny because when I encounter different kind of stylists, they all describe me differently. From time to time, makeup artists would do my makeup because I was on stage a lot. So probably at the age of 19, and I didn't like it so much. That was just awful on my face every time somebody did my makeup, and I hated that. But then there was one makeup artist who gave me a super great hint. So I think she had a vision. Not everybody has a vision, and having a vision is treating each one individually, and it's not that easy. So she looked at me and she said, no, for you would be this, this, and this. Unlike for anybody else that she met before, you know? This is what I call great vision, great stylist. Of course, they all can have some ready decisions, but there's still a certain person that's gonna be different from everybody else on planet Earth. So she has to know why this person is different from others and why this thing is gonna work for her, not for everybody else. And she did the makeup for myself, and she did makeup for models at the same time. That was kind of like a certain situation. There was like a photo session in a studio where I had to be photo sessioned, and then there were several models for another project. and she was doing models first and then me. And then when I looked at the models, she did makeup for them absolutely different than she did it for me. Totally different. A little bit of mascara, some eyeshadow, certain kind of brows, certain kind of lips, certain kind of contouring. When I looked at those models, I was like, yeah, but I have a different face. It's not gonna work for me. She's gonna make me now look super tired and swollen. I know this. Okay, let's try. Then it was so surprising for me that she did everything opposite on my own face. And I looked at my face, and it was actually the first time when I saw something new, but I liked it. She put more eyeshadow here and here on top of my eyes. She made my eyes a little bit rounder. And then she got a special theatrical mascara. She said, you can buy this mascara in the shops for theater makeup. It's not in regular shops. You can buy this mascara. So that mascara had a certain formula, and it had a certain brush. And the bristles of the brush were very far from each other. So that basically were a lot of mascara, a lot of cream itself. So when she would apply it on me, it's like from the first coat, it was kind of spread the lashes, but it was very interesting, and it was very much sticking up there. And same with the bottom lashes. And I looked at myself and I was like, it's the first time I've seen my face with these lashes that look like they're drawn on my face, like in the 60s, slightly like twigish thing. And then she said, yeah, that's your face. That's what we need to do with you. Like, open it. We need to show your cheeks. We need to show that face that you have. I was super shy also that time. And I felt like being not as models, it was making me just automatically not beautiful. So in my head, it was, they're models, they're beautiful, and they're girls like me, we're just not beautiful as models. You know, that was just a fixed idea that I had. And it was normal for me. I wasn't even upset about it. It was just how things were. And then when she made this makeup for me, and then we were all drinking tea, and all those models, they joined us and we started drinking tea, and models were looking at me and they were saying, you look so cool, wow, your face looks just so interesting, it looks so beautiful. And they started giving me compliments for that, and I was like, that's interesting. So that was the first time when I actually thought that I have a chance. I can have my signature style, and I don't have to be like a model in order to be beautiful and have my own path. Because if you walk your own path, you can never be overtaken by anyone. All right, that's it. I hope that was interesting. Thank you so much for staying with me, guys. And happy holidays, and I will see you very soon. Bye-bye. Subscribe on my Pinterest for 13 boards as an inspiration for the body types. Also, you can subscribe on my Instagram. All the links I'm gonna leave down below. Also, you can become my sponsor or subscribe on my Patreon for some exclusive videos, some early access to these videos, and just if you want to support me and my channel. Thank you so much, guys, and I'll see you very soon. Bye-bye.